Looking at non-conformity again, where the pinkish rocks around the base here are the granite, which is very similar to the granite we see at Cape Woolamai further down the coast. The granite's about 368 million years old, whereas the basalts overlying them are 47 million years old, and that's the greyish rocks. Probably under this area where we're standing we would find more granite, it's just not exposed at the moment. And so what it's telling us is when the volcanoes erupted these basalts about 47 million years ago, this part of the landscape was just granite hills that had been exposed. And those granites, as I mentioned to you before on the bus, formed about 2 or 3 kilometres below the Earth's surface from molten rocks in the crust, or the rocks melting and that molten material rising up higher into the crust and then slowly cooling into the granite. And then it's been exposed on the Earth's surface largely through erosion and some uplift, exposing these rocks on the Earth's surface. And as I mentioned when we were around at the greenstones, there's no quartz in the rocks at the greenstones, and yet around there you saw the sandy beach, which is, if you examine the sand, it's made up of tiny little grains of quartz and probably some shell material. So probably out in the ocean here where we're not seeing it, there'll be other outcrops of this granite that are breaking down, and one of the key minerals in granite is quartz. So as the rock breaks down, some of the other minerals, like one of the other main ingredients in it is feldspar, it breaks down and forms clays. But the quartz is quite a tough, resistant mineral, so it tends to be released, and then the ocean currents move it around and deposit it in various places. So, as I said, when you see things like this, then it gives us a few clues to what the landscape looked like before the basalt was erupted onto it. And also, you have to think, well, there's a whole sequence of geology here. We don't know. We're not seeing any rocks that were there at that time. So we're not seeing what covered the granite when it formed 360 plus million years ago. Those rocks have all been eroded away. What we are seeing is there's a time gap of, 320 million years basically that's gone on, that we're not seeing what actually happened in this area. We might find clues to it elsewhere, in other parts that'll tell us what went on, but we're not seeing the rocks that were there sometime in the past. So we call that a non-conformity, where there's this big time break between the two rocks.